We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. It seems like when it rains, it pours. Canelo-Crawford undercard hit with more devastation. In this video, I'm gonna go over it, break it down, and let you know what's going on. This time it's coming from Don King. Only in America. So it should be a good video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego in the back with some more best in the business, and it's not even close. Listen, I'm spanking y'all. I'm absolutely destroying y'all with pure content. What I say happens, book it. Now, what am I talking about? I've already expressed my discontent or disinterest with Canelo versus Crawford. However, I put out a video and I posed a question, right? And please, the video is still on my page. It has a date, timestamp, all that good stuff, so you know I'm not woofing. And in this particular video, I stated, how are we this close to Canelo-Crawford, and yet we do not know what the undercard even consists of, right? And I literally said in that video, I said, in this video, as of me recording it, we don't know what the undercard consists of, right? And if you remember this, type I remember in the comment section. And I literally say in the video, you can't make this up. I said, I notice a pattern. Boxing Ego content is what runs boxing, right? So everybody, friend or foe, whatever, they all watch my content. From trainers to boxers to promote, whoever, they all watching Boxing Ego, right? And I made that statement in the video. You can go back and check it. I said, it's funny that when Boxing Ego talks about something and when I have a complaint, it's subliminally responded to, usually in a few hours, a few days, or whatever. So I'll present my argument or whatever my concern is. And then the next day, I was saying that all of a sudden, whatever I was questioning, we get an answer. I'll be like, where's the announcement to this fight? Literally the next day, they announced the fight. I kid you not, the video is still up. When I made the video about Canelo-Crawford saying, hey, we are 35 days out, 4.5 weeks out from the fight date, how come they haven't announced the undercard? Especially since they were doing some type of sparring session, which was supposed to reveal people who were going to be on the card. So that was done for the Shakur Stevenson Zepeda card, Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Shiraz card, which was weeks ago. So I'm like, why are we this close to the fight? You guys say it's a mega fight, Canelo-Crawford. They're billing it as the greatest fight of the century and biggest fight, yada, yada, yada. Why don't we have an undercard? The very next day, I kid you not, the very next day after making this video, all of a sudden one fight got announced for the card. But you guys can say it's a coincidence, but it keeps happening. So I know it's not a coincidence. There's not that many coincidences in the world for it to keep happening to me every time I make a video. But it happened again. And the very next day, right, they announced Jarrell Big Baby Miller is fighting Michael the Bounty Hunter or whatever, right? So clearly the day after Ego make a video about it, they put something out. But now there's more information. I got an email from Don King that explicitly states that there is an issue with that fight that they announced. So this proves what I am saying. Somebody is watching my content and replying to my content. And to be honest, it looks like you don't even have your ducks in a row and you're just in such a rush to control the narrative and to put something out where you're running into these problems. So I'm going to read to you the email that Don King's team sent me. Promoter Don King issues a cease and desist order to SELA and TKO Boxing on his fighter. Promoter Don King issues a cease and desist order to SELA, which is the Saudi Arabia Entertainment, right? And TKO, Dana White, Turkey, all of them, on King's fighter, the number 2 heavyweight contender, Michael Hunter. Dang. The world's greatest boxing promoter, Don King, who has a legal and binding contract with number 2 heavyweight contender, Michael Hunter, has issued a cease and desist to SELA and TKO Group Holdings Incorporated, right? Don King won the rights to promote a WBA fight with Hunter and Kubrat Pulev in a purse bid, and then was victorious in 2 consecutive appeals to the WBA by Epic Sports and Entertainment. It has come to Don King's attention that there is a fight being promoted on the September 11th Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford card, naming Hunter and Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Quote, they continue to disobey the WBA and its clear directive on the Pulev Hunter championship fight, said Don King. Hunter is under contract to Don King Promotions, and he'll be fighting for a world championship. Boop. So this is what happens when you're such in a rush to respond to Boxing Ego and you haven't got everything sorted. This looks absolutely terrible. How come I've been complaining about the same things with Ring ever since Turkey took over Ring? It's been a show, right? And I've been complaining about this very thing, putting the information out in the public before it is ready to be put out. This is such a rookie mistake and a horrible look. And the only reason more people aren't talking about this is because you have compromised media who are looking for a meal ticket, so they don't have no nuts to say what I'm saying. That's what makes me the realest in the game. These other people have sold out for whatever. I don't know what kind of compensation. Maybe it's for an interview. Maybe it's for a free travel to Saudi Arabia or to a ring card or guaranteed credentials. But these people have officially sold out. What happened in the game of boxing where people can't call out right and wrong in what they see? It is a bad look to put things out in the public and then you have to take it back. Like, remember, it was like Canelo's negotiating with Crawford, and then they were like, a deal has been reached. And then out of nowhere, it was like, the deal is off. Canelo and Crawford negotiations have ended. And then the next day, it was like, Canelo signed a 4-fight. Bro, this is why boxing is laughed at by some, because of stuff like this. Ring and Turkey, they are making boxing look very rookie and disorganized by doing this. How are you announcing a Jarrell Big Baby Miller fight versus Michael Hunter? Michael Hunter's not even a part of that faction, which is evident. And then now there's a legally binding contract we're finding out from Don King, and a legal motion to get you to stop promoting the fight because Don King and his legally binding contract, or AKA his signed fighter, are, I guess he wants to take him in a whole different way. So that's what part. Now you understand why these people want to get rid of the Ali Act, so they could probably circumvent certain things. You have a fighter in contract, and there's no reason that Don King would do a cease and desist unless he did not authorize for his signed fighter to take part on this particular card. And maybe he has a different plan for it. So this looks extremely bad. Again, you're about a month out from Canelo-Crawford. No real announced fight. Then the day after, Boxing Ego make a video calling them out for not having an undercard announced. The next day they throw something out through Ring, of course, and say Jarrell Miller's fighting Michael Hunter. And then the very next day after that, Don King says, pump your brakes. there's a cease and desist. So Jarrell Miller already went on wax, said he tried to fight against Jared Big Baby Anderson. He claims that he pulled out. He claims that Deontay Wilder passed up an opportunity to not be in the card. I don't know if this is true. So that's not one, but two people, according to Jarrell Big Baby Miller, that they were trying to get for this particular card, for the Canelo-Crawford card. So you guys are like, oh, the Saudis have unlimited money. Turkey has unlimited money. Why do they keep having fights fall apart? Why didn't Jarrell Miller versus Jared Big Baby Anderson? I thought that was the big fight that they were going to have on Canelo-Crawford card. Then they said Jarrell Miller and Wilder, and they had bad blood. So people might want to see that fight. Then they announced Michael Hunter. And as I mentioned, Don King sent an email saying there's a cease and desist, which means, if you don't know what a cease and desist is basically you need to stop this action. Otherwise, there'll be more legal actions on our side, right? So if somebody was putting out like a YouTube video about Cardi B and it was defamation and they have a cease and desist, you have to cease and desist the action that you're doing. And if you don't, if you refrain from doing that, then it's going to get nasty. So it's pretty much a warning shot before legal action. So why would Don King be doing this if they went through the appropriate channels? So for a fight like Canelo-Crawford that you say is a big mega fight, it's sure being handled very rookie. Again, we have no concept of this undercard. It's supposed to be on Netflix. Fights are falling apart according to Jarrell Big Baby Miller. And then now this legal action from Don King saying pretty much you plucked our fighter and you're promoting the card and we have not authorized this. So Canelo-Crawford continues to be like laughable in terms of how it's being handled. You didn't see this with Mayweather-Pacquiao, Mayweather-McGregor, or Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, right? But we're seeing it now. And again, Ring is supposed to be the Bible for boxing. They keep putting out pretty much inaccurate information because 1 minute is this and then it changes instantly. They'll put out Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn are going to fight in October. And then it'll be like SELA and Ring have nothing to do with Chris Eubank and Conor Benn fight. So obviously there's some kind of issue there. Then they do another post a week later talking about SELA and Ring are involved in Conor Benn and Chris Eubank and the rematch is on. Like, bro, what gives? All this like back and forth, it makes you look unprofessional, which makes me believe that Turkey, he's making calls or texts or decisions. And as the mood changes, and this is terrible for business, but as your mood changes, then so do your actions. You don't want to operate from an emotional standpoint where it's like, I put out some information, 5 minutes later, I changed my mind because I calmed down. So it makes you look bad because it's just back and forth, nonstop, right? And that's what we get from Turkey, Ring. 1 minute the fight's on, then it's off, then it's on. 1 minute, like, how do you even move here? Jarrell Miller versus Michael Hunter. Is it still going on when you have Don King saying, I'm going to sue you if you push this fight through because we're fighting Pulev and he has a contract with me? So tell me why the business would be so sloppy where this would happen like this and play out like this, where you're announcing a fight, but then the person's promoter is like, we didn't authorize this. We're not okay with this. I mean, again, this is laughable. And on a big card, it makes it even more egregious. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself. Especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.